you can get Botox anywhere. It doesn't mean you should, right? Like I could do a pap smear, but I'm not doing a pap smear. Part of the reason why some places are cheaper, they might be buying their Botox from China or who knows where, which is not safe. It's not FDA approved. It's not safe. I think my patients are very educated patients, and they're looking for someone who has a very deep understanding of medicine, science, beauty, art.
Welcome back to the Cake for Dinner podcast, where we talk all things motherhood. Today's guest is going to be your favorite, Dr. Jordana Herschthal, a board-certified dermatologist who addresses all things skin-related. She talks lasers, Botox, and all the stuff that helps us chase these fine lines and age gracefully. So tune in. You guys are going to love this one. Thanks for coming. Super excited to have you on today. So really, Cake for Dinner is about all things motherhood, which, as we know, includes a dermatologist.
Yes.
So I just wanted to have you on to talk a little bit about, maybe introduce yourself and kind of tell everyone about your practice. And then I really want to dive into more of the gritty shit.
Okay. So I'm Jordana Herschthal, and I'm a board-certified dermatologist in Boca Raton. I joined my dad's practice 15 years ago, and my practice is mostly aesthetic at this point, making women feel the best they possibly can in a natural way.
Love that.
So that's what I focus on.
I think I came to you and I was basically like, look, I'm 51. I'm just trying to chase the dragon. And you said, what is your priority? And then you asked me, would you be more concerned about looking weird or old? And I love that, because I'd be more concerned about looking weird.
Yes.
So what do you see most in your practice, and like, how has it evolved?
I would say that the trends have evolved, but I try to focus not on the trends and just stick to my principle, which is looking the best you can in the most natural way possible and not looking weird.
Okay.
So what I've seen over time is something called perception drift, which happens with patients and providers, which is basically getting used to a certain amount of, let's say, filler in your face.
Okay.
And then not seeing where you came from and thinking you always need more. And that's kind of what's happening out there when people start looking weird, because they're chasing something that's not real and realistic, and then you end up just looking deformed.
And how do you address that?
So I try to address it by pointing out to patients, and most of my patients trust me by now.
Okay.
They'll ask me, do I need this? I just say no. I say no a lot. That's how I address it.
I bet.
And I have a very specific aesthetic. So I'm not scared of a line on the face. I'm not scared of a shadow. I'm not scared of movement. So I really just try to stick to seeing patients through that lens. Okay. And I find saying no is the best thing I can do for myself and my practice.
Has it shaped the way you see yourself? Like, how has this industry shaped you?
So that's a great question. I leave it in the hands of my friends who are also dermatologists that I trust.
Okay.
So there are certain treatments I'll do to myself, which is Botox, because I know my face and my movement better than anybody.
Okay.
But when it comes to filler, which is something that can change your facial shape and your look more than anything, I leave it to the hands of trusted friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much art is there in this? Because people will say, hey, where do you get Botox? How much does it cost? You're not the cheapest game in town. I trust you the most, which is why I go. But how much art is in it? How much does that matter for something, let's say, like Botox?
Okay. So the reason why I love my field so much and what I do every day is because it's a constant play between science and art.
Okay.
So you have to have a very deep understanding of anatomy to have a good result. But you also have to have a good understanding of beauty standards.
Right.
And it's the marriage between the two that the magic happens. If you go to these courses, if you've ever seen, you probably haven't, but let's say someone who's interested in becoming a provider.
Okay.
If you go to a course and you see what they're teaching, it's a lot of like paint by numbers. But that doesn't work on everybody because every face is different.
Right.
So you have to learn how to see faces and their unique characteristics and keep those characteristics in line with the patient's face, so you're not erasing them and having everyone look the same. So I think what happens out there is everybody's sort of painting by numbers, and you're getting these results that just look weird.
Because I feel like you can get Botox at the dentist these days.
You can get Botox anywhere. It doesn't mean you should, right? Like I could do a pap smear, but I'm not doing a pap smear. So, I think my patients are very educated patients, and they're looking for someone who has a very deep understanding of medicine, science, beauty, art. Not everybody cares, and not everybody wants to spend the money to have that result.
Right.
Or they can't spend the money. There's that too.
Sure.
So I always say you kind of get what you pay for.
Yeah.
That's pretty true across all fields and all industries in life.
Right.
So it's just trusting your provider and what your priorities are and shifting those priorities to make it happen.
Right. Which we all do. What are some, I know you don't follow the trends, but are there any trends that you say are just like a no-fly zone? And then are there any trends you're super excited about?
So when I first started, I was all about the trends. And then you soon learn that trends are trends.
Yep.
And it's better to go with things that have a proven track record and are going to work. So I tend to now wait a little bit, wait it out, see how a new machine is doing, see what a new product's doing before I dive into it.
Yeah.
I think that the latest trends now are all about this bioregenerative medicine. That's like the talk of the town.
Which is, tell me a little more about that.
So as opposed to replacing natural volume, let's use filler again because that's easy. Let's say filler. We have hyaluronic acid-based fillers. There were silicone fillers back in the day.
Yeah.
Collagen filler, all these fillers that are replacing something with another substance.
Okay.
The bioregenerative ones is putting a substance that's going to stimulate your body to replace what it needs. Naturally, right? So, for example, we have Sculptra, which has been around forever.
Yep.
That's bioregenerative.
And how great do you think that works? Because I feel like I get mixed reviews.
Everything's mixed because it's medicine. There's nothing. I always say to patients, we're not going to get rid of anything, and this isn't a one size fits all. Like everybody responds differently to different lasers, different fillers. So in general, I get an amazing result with Sculptra, but not everyone responds to Sculptra the way that most of the population does.
Sure.
So we switch it up.
Are there any other Sculptras, or is that the only?
Yes. So the latest one that was approved recently, a couple years ago, is called Renuva. And this one's really interesting because it's actually a human-derived product, but that all the cell, I'm trying to break this down as simple as possible. All the cells and all the human stuff is washed away.
Okay.
And you're left with basically a honeycomb structure that you can't see. It's in a syringe. We inject it and it stimulates your body to produce its own fat.
Wow.
So it's really interesting. It has more longevity than other products.
Does it act faster?
No, it takes about 1 to 3 months to kick in.
Got it.
So all of these bioregenerative ones take longer to see a result, but also can last longer.
Is Sculptra not made from human?
No, it's polylactic acid.
Got it.
Not human.
I actually used to sell Skin Medica.
Yes.
And one of their products was made from human foreskin.
Yes. The growth factors. TNS.
Right. Which is like a weird thing to like
wrap your head around. Yes.
Actually, I was one of the first reps. And at the time it was like red and it smelled like shit. And it was like very difficult to sell.
Yes.
But I would put it on my hand every day. And by, a few months in, it was very clear which hand I was using. So that became sort of the selling feature. But anyway, that's kind of a hard thing for people to wrap their heads around.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it's how you explain it.
Right.
And the science and
well, also if it works,
care less. Exactly. If it works, it works. And if it's safe, safety is like number one for me above all else.
I remember I came to you, I don't know, maybe like a year or two ago, and I wanted to try something for cellulite. And you were like, no, I don't do it. And I was surprised because I thought surely you would do it. And you said, no, there's not enough evidence that it's going to work.
Yeah.
I don't do that. And I ended up going and trying it somewhere else, and it was a complete disaster.
Yeah.
So I learned my lesson. But I like that about you, that you take time to, make sure it's going to
work, because then
and that it's
you
safe.
lose trust in your patients if it doesn't work, or if it's not safe.
So anything else you can think of that you would warn somebody about? Like, are there any specific things?
Yes.
Let's go.
So I think empowering the patient is the most important part of my consults. I love to explain in detail why we're doing something, what we're doing, all the things. So I always tell patients, part of the reason why some places are cheaper, they might be buying their Botox from China or who knows where, which is not safe. It's not FDA approved. It's not safe. So
How would someone know, or you really can't?
So I always tell patients, if you're going to cheat on me, which I'm fine with,
be wise about it.
Be wise about it, because it's really hard to undo crappy work. So you ask the provider who's doing the treatment to show you the bottle. Not that that guarantees that they're not putting something else in the bottle, but at least you can watch them open the bottle, reconstitute it, open the syringe, have them do everything in front of you so you know exactly what's going on. I
noticed it's something that you do. So when I come in, she already has the stuff set out, but I notice it's not open yet. And,
correct.
And I appreciate that. But I don't know that everyone knows to look for that. So
they don't. So
advice.
That's why I think it's important to tell people, just be your own advocate. Ask to see the bottle, ask to do it in front of you. It's just safer.
What are you super hip on? So I'm 51. My friends are my age. The listeners are typically women 30 and up.
Yes.
Like, when do you think somebody should start doing stuff? And is there kind of a stereotypical journey for a woman?
Yes. So of course, caveat, everyone's different and has different needs. But in general, there's like 4 categories of treatment, which you've heard me talk about, right? So as we age, there's a lot going on in the face. Your bone is shifting. This is universal. Your fat pads deflate and descend. Your skin is accumulating sun damage stress.
Universal.
Yeah, it's universal.
I see you looking at me saying your bone is shifting.
It's not just you.
Your face is dropping.
Your face is falling. Your skin quality is changing, right?
Yes.
And your muscle is getting weaker. So these things happen over time. And starting around your mid-20s, you start to break down. I like to have a visual. So think of your skin as like bricks and mortar. The mortar is the good stuff, the collagen, elastin, hyaluronic acid. Once you hit your mid-20s, you're breaking down all the good stuff faster than you're replacing it. So the point of a lot of these treatments and products is to help build back up the mortar. And restore things you're losing, like fat in the face and collagen. So typically the younger patients starting in the late 20s, early 30s, dip their toes in Botox. Why? The more expressions you make as you get older, the more the lines are going to stick at rest. If it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother you. Who cares? You move on. You don't do Botox. If it bothers you, we have a solution. It's called Botox. So we do Botox early on so we don't get the lines at rest.
So preventative for young
people. For young people. Doesn't mean you can't do it later in life. I have plenty of patients who started later in life and love the way it looks. But the Botox also changes with time. So I always tell patients, starting in your 40s, your brows start to descend on their own. So we might not be able to achieve the frozen forehead anymore. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look right. So that's a whole other conversation that I then have to have with patients, because they're used to having the frozen flat forehead. But come into your 40s, it doesn't look good on everybody. Not to say it doesn't look good on some people, but the majority of patients, we have to change our techniques after the age of 40 so we're not dropping brows.
There's so much more that goes into it.
There's a lot. That's why there's a lot that goes in. That's the artistry of it.
Right.
It's not just getting the result of frozen. You have to think about, well, how do the brows look?
And how does it go with everything else?
With all the other treatments?
With the rest of your body and if you have a very tight face,
yes,
and then you have a turkey
and then your neck is
or
horrible.
You get all this buttoned up and then your arms, I'm starting to have creepy
skin
biceps, right? So it's even if I were to be able to achieve that, it's
there's a mismatch.
Yeah, one thing here doesn't match the others,
Correct.
So I think it's an overall look. If you want to be, for me, I want to look as natural as possible. So, you're chasing the dragon differently.
It becomes a different chase.
It's
different game.
It does.
So early years, there's a little Botox, skincare for sure. Yeah. Always. And I would say lasers start to come in early 30s because we start collecting brown spots on the face or fine lines start to appear.
Yeah.
So Botox and lasers are usually the first. And then unless there's a specific need for a filler or someone wants a bigger lip or something, or they need a chin, then we start dipping our toes in filler.
Okay.
Because you start losing volume. So we want to replace some of that loss of volume in a natural way.
Are we moving away from fillers or is that?
I'm not. I think what we're moving away from is overfilling.
Yes. Okay.
And trying to look overdone. And trying
so because the face kind of closed. I mean, there are trends in terms of what the look is too.
Yes. So getting back to trends, quiet luxury is now the trend in aesthetic medicine. I hope it's supposed to be going that way, and I hope it continues to go that way. It's always been my philosophy, but it's the goal to look effortlessly good for your age,
yes,
but real, and not chasing the Instagram standard, which is not real at all. It's filtered. It's a lie. So the amount of people who used to come into me and show me Instagram photos, that doesn't really exist anymore in my practice.
It doesn't even how
it's
the
not
person
real.
Looks.
No, nobody looks like that.
Yeah.
So while people used to chase these cut jawlines, and that's in a vacuum, in a picture, that's 1D, So now people realize you have to look at a person in real life. Don't even show me a picture.
Right.
A picture says nothing.
We all look great on Instagram.
We all look terrible in pictures. So that's why everyone filters. So it's what you look like in real life.
Right.
All the angles.
Yes. Yes.
So that's the journey.
And how does that connect with, what you look like in real life? How does that connect with how you feel in real life?
So this is not my guessing. I mean, there's a lot of studies on this that if you, especially with Botox, if you look good for your age or for yourself, you feel good. Look good, feel good. That's just how it is, unfortunately or fortunately. Yeah. We can do stuff about it. We can make people feel better about themselves. So I often get a patient who looks in the mirror when I'm done and they start to cry because they're like, this is what I want to see. I want to look in the mirror and see this version of myself. And that's really rewarding.
Yeah. It can probably go the other way too. I remember when I was, I think in my late 20s, I didn't grow up with much money. So I had to wait until I got older to buy my own braces. And I got braces. And I remember when she took them off, I was so disappointed because I thought I was going to look like Cameron Diaz. I have no idea why, because I don't even have that shape of mouth. I don't look anything like her. But I remember looking in the mirror and being like, shit,
you're not at all.
That's not at all what I was going for. But you can only, as a physician, you can only change someone so much.
Correct.
So I would imagine you get some of that too.
I do. But I can tell within the first 5 minutes of a consult what kind of patient there's patients who see the tiniest difference right away.
Yes.
And then there's patients who you can show them themselves before and after, and it's a dramatic difference, and they don't see it. Those are the tough patients.
I bet.
Because there's something else going on.
Right.
In the mind. But
and as a dermatologist, do you see that something else? And
I try. It's like a therapy session in my seat.
Yes.
People say, oh, I feel better coming here than going to my therapist. But it's a little bit of teaching people how to look at themselves in the right way, or to kind of see them through someone else's eyes. Because the way you see yourself is totally different than the way the rest of the world sees you.
Right.
So it's a little bit of finessing.
Has it given you more compassion for people in general or women just to see so much feeling?
More compassion. I mean, I kind of went into medicine because I have compassion. More compassion. I feel sad sometimes for patients because
so empathy. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel sad for the patients who don't see it.
Right.
Most of my patients see it. They are happy when they appreciate all the little tweaks.
Yeah.
And some patients just don't see it and are constantly chasing. And those are usually the ones that end up looking bizarre.
Right. So why did you go into medicine?
I grew up in a household with a doctor, and my dad was around, and he was at every show, every game, everything. So I saw that you could be a doctor and help people. And everywhere we went, people came up to him. Oh, Dr. Herschthal, Dr. Herschthal. So I always admired that about him and his job, that he could be doing this cool thing and then showing up for the family. And I was always drawn to science and math. That was just what I liked. And I was a bit of a hypochondriac growing up. So I wanted to understand how the body worked.
So it all
just kind of came together.
Right.
And then once I was in medical school, you rotate through all the different specialties.
Okay.
So I kept an open mind. But once I went through derm, I realized this is my
So you
place.
recently told me that you are interested in or getting what in terms of menopause?
I want to learn more about hormone replacement therapy because of what an important role it plays in every organ in the female body. And I'm getting closer to perimenopause. I'm going to be 44 this year.
Yep.
And there was a generation of women that just completely missed out on HRT.
Totally.
Yes. So I'm learning about it, studying for the boards. I may or may not implement it in my practice, but I'm learning about it mostly because I'm curious about it for myself. And then I want to see if I can fit it into my practice because it does play a large role in the skin.
Right. What a great combo, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you're literally talking to women all day who I would imagine the majority of them fall in that category of peri or menopause, and your skin is so directly affected. I can't even tell you. I'm not great at like keeping up with myself in that way. And I hadn't had my blood work done or anything. And every day I would look in the mirror and I could just tell. It wasn't like the thing where your Botox is wearing off. It was like my face was melting. Like it was so extreme.
Yes.
I ended up getting my blood work done and her words were, you basically have no more estrogen or progesterone and low testosterone. And I wish I had known that in my 30s so that I would have known to sort of watch for it. So I think it's such a good combination. I mean, it makes so much sense to me.
It makes a lot of sense. And it's beyond the skin, which
I
think I mentioned to you, 30% of your collagen loss is due to the loss of estrogen as we go through menopause. Beyond the skin, it's brain protective, bone protective, heart protective. There's just so many benefits of being on it if you can be on it. Not every woman can go on HRT, unfortunately, but the more people that know about it, I'm shocked every time I bring it up to my patients how little patients know about it.
Yeah.
Nobody really does it regularly.
Yeah. It's becoming more of a thing.
It's becoming a thing. I hope it becomes the thing.
I think it is.
Yeah.
So you have this booming practice and you're married and you have kids. So what's that like? Like what
Total chaos.
Right. So balance is a joke.
I know.
What would you say is the hardest part about that?
The schedules. It's impossible. I can't keep up with everybody. There's so many schedules and moving parts all the time that it's really hard to keep everything in a row.
Yeah, I was really talking to another mom about that, saying that I had left work one day. I work with teenagers and I just felt like almost high. Like I had such a great day impacting the youth, you know?
Yeah.
And I get in my car and it just dawned on me, shit, I have no idea what anyone's going to eat.
Yeah.
I literally just started going through all three of my kids. Oh my gosh, this one's there. This one has nothing, you know? And it's like, it feels like there's always a ball dropping.
Yes. Yes, that's true. I've just accepted it at this point.
I think that's the only way.
You can't be 100% in everything.
Right.
So I just said, I'm going to get as much help as I can. I lean on mom friends all the time. I lean on my husband all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's just, I have a nanny. I mean, there's so many moving parts, and we're just doing the best we can. It's not perfect, but
right.
It is what it is.
So that's kind of like the whole idea around this podcast, is that I feel like we're also in a generation where for some weird reason, moms are trying to, or at least feels like trying to lead with perfection. Like, we're buttoned up. We're all in our Lululemon. We're all great. Our kids are fucking great too, by the way. They're all smart and athletic. You know, it's like, Jesus, like, where's the room for regular people and regular kids? And everyone I've interviewed has said just that. Like, I would rather lead with being authentic.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
I'm very
honest.
I'm very honest, and my closest friends are honest humans who don't say their kids are perfect or they're this or they're that. We're all messy and real, and those are the people I'm attracted to. Right. If I meet someone who gives me the song and dance, I'm not interested. I don't have space for that. Right. I don't have space for a ton of new friends. Right. So I choose wisely, and most of those moms are just tell it like it is.
And did you at all ever go through a period of, like, in my 30s, I was more in a striving period. My kids were very little. I would drop off in the car line, you know, and had to get to work. So, like, I wasn't there for some of the stuff. And I can remember feeling inadequate as a mom.
Yes.
Did you ever feel that way?
Yeah, of course. I still do. Every day. When my kids were really young, it was my early 30s when I was building my practice, having babies. I would be like, how many errands can I run before I go home? Because once I came home, the chaos of the kids, it was too much between trying to grow my practice and like raise children. It was insane. So I tried to like run errands. Yeah. And come home for bedtime sometimes because I was exhausted and it was defeating and I felt like a horrible mother. So it was, you go through phases and then you realize that everybody feels inadequate. Even friends of mine who didn't work and seemed to totally have it on lockdown with their children, and they were amazing parents and making these fancy lunches and all this business. Yeah. Even they were falling apart at the seams. So you just grow up, I think. And you realize you're enough and you're doing the best you can.
You're doing the best you can.
You're doing the best you can.
And I think if we lead with that, which you're brave enough to do, but not everyone is, what would you say to someone who's listening and hasn't really reached that point yet? They're still feeling inadequate and they're not super honest about how they're, like, what they're struggling with.
Get some better friends.
Yeah.
Get some friends.
Get some friends with
get
hard
some real
kids
friends
too.
Yeah. Get some real friends, because that's what got me through it. The friends who were real with me and not pretending like their lives were perfect and making me feel bad about my kids' behavior or whatever it was. Right. Those were the people I leaned on in those times because they were real. Yeah.
This is definitely the way to go.
I know.
And there's a lot that happens during this stage too. Our parents age.
Yes.
While you're raising kids. So, and we're in peri or menopause, like trying to hang onto your face. I mean, it's just, there's so much happening. What is your relationship like? I know you're close with your dad.
Yes.
What is that like? What has that been like as far as a support system?
Well, I'm close with both of my parents. I'm very close with both of them. They were really helpful when my kids were young because they were both really healthy. And, and then we age and it's not as helpful anymore. So I can't lean on my parents as much anymore, which has been hard, but such is life.
It's hard in different ways. It's hard, I think, logistically, but it's also a little bit hard to watch.
Yes, correct. That's the main thing. So they're wonderful, but they're in a different phase now. So it's now like I'm becoming more of like the parent for everybody. And I have two brothers and they don't live here. So I live by my parents, and balancing all of that is a whole other struggle.
I'm in the same boat. I have three brothers. Only one lives here. And I don't know, I think the sister just sort of takes on that role more.
Yes.
So I'm that in my family too, which I'm grateful for and I love. Unlike you, I was a dysfunctional teen and early adolescent or early adult. So I feel like in some ways I'm having the opportunity to pay everybody back by like being reliable. But also it's wonderful to be there for them. But it is hard and it is a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So your takeaway is do your best and have good friends.
Pretty much. And look good doing it.
Oh, one last thing.
Yeah.
We talked about hormones and we talked about the face a lot.
Yes.
Do you know much about estradiol on the face? This is a new thing I heard.
Yes. So there's new studies that show that it's helping because remember, collagen, 30% of your collagen loss is due to loss of estrogen. So the idea is you're replacing the estrogen into your skin, and that's helping with the collagen production that we're losing over time.
But if you take estrogen, then why
put it on? So it's just a more direct. If you take it orally or transdermally, it's going everywhere. But if you're putting it on your skin directly, it's just a more direct hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the molecules aren't like it can seep in.
Yes.
As far as. Because I remember when they were creating the Skin Medica stuff, that was a big thing about getting it to
It had to be the first thing on your face.
Right.
Certain size. Yeah. No, this is it's hormone. It's totally a different beast.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm so excited that you were able to come.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, as a closing, like you, I'm very close with my dad.
Yes.
And anytime I'm sad in my life, he bakes me a cake, which is kind of why we named it Cake for Dinner. So my mom baked your cake because you're dairy free. So you get a dairy free cake.
So happy. I love your mom. She's amazing.
And
never met your dad.
Well, you will meet him one day because I'll be sending him.
Is this chocolate on chocolate?
My dad's a dermatology nightmare.
Is he?
Because he
was cancer.
He was a triathlete and just hammered the sun.
Yeah. At least he has vitamin D. This is delicious.
So good.
Also, if you feel bad, eat cake. It's true.
Yeah.
It makes you feel really good.
It does make you feel good. So if somebody wanted to reach out, they want to get amazing Botox or, have a meeting with you, how would they do so?
It's funny. There's a landline. Nobody knows how to contact the office anymore. They reach out to me on Instagram and they're like, how do I make an appointment?
You're like, call
the office. Yeah. So you can call the office. We also have a website, drherschthal.com, that you can book an appointment online, which seems to be the preferred way to do it.
Okay.
So you can do that or the office number 561-391-9200.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. I hope I don't have chocolate all over my face.
You do not. How did we do, Andrew?
Is that cute?
Yeah, that was good. We covered all the
things.
Yeah.
This is delish.
I feel like women want to hear about face stuff.
Yeah. I forgot to mention the facelift part, but it's okay. I'm not a surgeon, so.
Why? What would you say about it?
Well, at some point, I recommend people for facelifts.
Who do you recommend?
Mascaro. Here, Mascaro. Out of state,